Hello everybody. This is the first recording of the This Isn't a Podcast server recording because as you just heard from the fucking title, this isn't a podcast because there will be no recurring themes or recurring, calls because I can't commit to anything long term. I'm your host, Lun. Here are our other hosts. Osh, can you say hi to the camera?
Hi, invisible camera. My name's Zajan, or you can call me Osh for short.
Lulzy, now if you take a look behind you, you can see the camera crew recording you. I don't know when they got there, but they got there pretty recently.
Oh god, oh fuck.
So Jeff,
Hi,
if
I'm
you take a
Lulzy.
look under your chair, you can find the camera crew there as well as a key to a Honda Civic.
Oh fuck yeah.
For this first recording, we will be talking recording. I just established that there aren't going to be any other recordings, but for this recording, we will be talking about OCTs. Now, for most of you that don't know what that is because you have normal social lives or an art circle that is actually healthy for you and non-toxic, let's go cross that out real quick. I'm not sure we can say that. So it's called an original character tournament. Now, as to what that is, we're going to get to it in a bit of a quickie. Does anyone want to talk about what an OCT is?
OCT, I guess in layman's terms, is a online comic competition where pretty much you audition for it with a audition comic, and a panel of judges reads the large amount of comics that are sent in. They figure out which ones they like the most, has a good premise, good story, understandable, and then they are let into the tournament proper, and thus they are put into a roster where they pair off by twos, where you got two people, like it's like a fighting tournament, like a fighting tournament arc in those animes. You got two people fighting against each other, but with comic form. Who's ever got the best story is judged by the judges as so, and then you move on to the next round. That was probably the most awful way to explain it, but I gave it a shot.
It's pretty succinct.
No. A lot of fighting tournament arcs, I always think of OCT, so I can get you there.
So wait. So what you're telling me is I gotta make a comic, and I gotta make a lot of comics, and this usually takes place over a full year, right? So that's like 100. Yeah, that's like 100 hours of man hours working, right? Do I at least get a prize?
Sometimes you get a prize of $20.50.
Usually people offer prizes, like the OCT usually starts with like a bunch of prizes, but usually contestants or people watching offer their own stuff, like commissions or animations, stuff like that, even like prints or a stapler.
Or sometimes they offer the entirety of your story bound and printed in a book, but usually those don't really happen. Thank God, because my stuff wasn't optimized, that's for sure. Anyways, but, anyways, continue, Lulzy.
Sometimes there are monetary rewards in some tournaments, and usually because these tournaments usually start on DA, they'll give like DeviantArt subscriptions too, but like no one gives a shit about that anymore.
Yeah.
I think the last time I ever thought about DeviantArt subscriptions was in 2013 when I was in the 8th grade. Let that sink in. It's pretty useless nowadays. I think everyone's hopping off of DA, which is why you can see a lot of tournaments being hosted in Discord or Twitter. Or like,
a lot of people moving to Twitter for it.
The Kill 6 Billion Demons guy, Abaddon, had one recently. That was entirely in Discord.
That was dope.
Ring of Power, yeah. Love that guy, by the way. Please check out his webcomic. It's really good. Hi, Inspiro. Okay.
Well, we are actually sponsored by Abaddon himself. Yeah.
Not sponsored. We're actually not sponsored. I'm just saying.
He went
please
to
look
my
at that
house
webcomic.
personally. He rang the doorbell and gave me a pizza and said, and then I said, I can't really pay for this pizza. And he said, yeah, if you give me a shout out in your podcast that isn't really a podcast because it won't have a second or third episode, you can have the pizza for free. I was like, really? And yeah, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
Anyways, it was a very successful off website tournament, and it garnered a lot of people to join in. I was tempted, actually, to be honest, to join in, but I decided not to because that was a big tournament.
I
So,
wanted to join too actually, but I had Murder House at the time.
yeah.
I thought about it, but then I'm like, no, I've quit doing OCTs and I'm gonna stick to it.
But Cozy, this one isn't like a DeviantArt OCT. This one's different. I was there for the audition period. Didn't actually see any of the finished comics or finished rounds, and I'm not sure where to read them because they're all in the Discord, and I left the Discord so long ago. So
Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
I'm sure there's
I was
somewhere in the ether.
considering it.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere, maybe. But
I was not a fan of the 2-week deadlines. I'm like, ooh.
There's 2-week deadlines? Damn.
They only
yeah,
had a
it was
2-week
very
deadline.
fast. Yeah, it was very fast. There's no way I can do.
Well,
There's no way I could do that.
they were all fights, right? There was no like story.
There's
or
literally all
anything.
fights. There was no story.
Oh,
It's
okay.
all fights.
That's doable because I was actually in a tournament like that where I did 10 fights in a month.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so much.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so bad at fight scenes. That's like horror to me. I'm story based. I can't do fighting.
I will always pride myself with that tournament because I actually ended up winning that one.
Oh,
Hell
now,
yeah.
may I ask which tournament is this? And to segue this into the next topic, what tournaments have you been in, including this one with the legendary 10 fights in 1 month?
Okay, so this is a different kind of a stew. This is called Angel Crushers Fighting League, where basically like there was no like elimination at the beginning. It was just like, all right, all these people entered, they drew the characters getting the invitation, and then it was just basically like everyone was just matched up with people, and like you finished your fight, you moved on, and like for the first section of it, it was just like get 10 fights done, and then your score will be calculated like if you won that or later, and then after that, from there is when quarterfinals, which was more of like a traditional elimination style, where it went from there.
So it's like a league at the beginning.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people who participate. I think in the one I was in, there was like, I want to say, not over 100 people, but like in the high between like 70 to 100 people in that one. And then it narrows down to how many people like won their fights in that first section. It's hard to explain like verbally completely, but that's just how it went.
If you can send us like a JPEG of the tournament bracket, we can put it up on screen. Because this might be on YouTube.
I cannot get that for you in a reasonable amount of time.
Oh Jesus Christ! It's that long ago. Holy shit! Okay, it's fine. But how long have you been?
I was in high school when I did this.
Jesus Christ, dude! What are you
Yes.
like 80 right now?
Wait, but how old are you again,
I feel 80. No, this isn't like 20. This was in like 2011. I'm like 26.
It's 9 years ago.
I'm 25 now. I feel like that I'm old as well. I think I forgot how old Lun is, and I'm like, oh fuck, Lun is a baby.
I'm actually
Yeah.
12 years old.
You look 12. I'm kidding.
Man, puberty makes it hit hard.
Dude, like Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff's also 12 years old, right? We were both in the kindergarten. We were on the swings together, and then I pushed you off, and then you pushed me off, and then we started shooting each other. It's wild.
Yeah, we
God.
did.
Anyways, back to the topic at hand. What OCTs did we do?
For how long have you been in the scene as well?
How long? Yeah. Who's gonna go first?
I guess since I've already started with AFL, I can just say mine. I've been doing OCTs since like 2009, but I've been lurking the scenes like longer than that. So I'm not going to list them all off because I don't want to just start listing names. But I think I've counted. I've been in like 10, and I've judged for 4, and I won 2.
It's almost as old as I am. Damn.
Oh my god.
Fuck, bro. Any highlights among them? Yeah, you don't need to name all of them, but any highlights among them?
Yeah.
Well,
Don't need to name all of them. I need to count how many.
Been in.
Yeah.
You can tell Luzzy. Yeah, I was just muttering.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, like, obviously, like AFL was like one of the more fun ones because for that one you didn't really have to worry about the story, and I just entered with this funky little goop guy beating up a bunch of superheroes. It was really fun, and I mean, Artist at the Ready 5 was my most recent one. I had a lot of fun with that. Is just drawing me being really angry at everything is so cathartic. So that was really fun, even if I didn't win past round 3, but my schedule got busy anyway, so I'm kind of glad I didn't win.
I mean, it's fine for like a lot of people. They don't really make it past round 1, so that's a victory in my book.
Oh.
Actually, just getting through the audition period is like, yeah, I'm fucking cool now, bro.
Yes, now someone going about their stuff.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, eeny,
Lon, how about
meeny,
you?
miny. Oh, how about you go?
Mother. God damn it. Yeah. So I hate this. Hold on, I'm counting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I'm like
13,
I have my
6,
iPod out.
12.
You got me nervous. All I could write was pants.
4.
Okay, so I've been one. So I've been around of about early 2009, because that's when I first moved down from my childhood home to down south towards the cities. So 2009, I've oh no, my computer went to sleep. Come back. Okay.
Just an F in the chat,
2009?
please.
F in the fucking chat. 2009, I figured out what OCTs were, but I lurked around for a year or two before I started my first OCT. I've been to first OCT in grade 9, so fresh out of high school. I was like 13, 14 years old, and it was and after that I went into 4 more other OCT. Yeah, 4 other OCTs over the years of my whole high school career. And the last one I was in, not counting the current one that I'm in right now, was it was called Mully Grubs. That was my last
Holy
OCT,
shit.
and I managed to make it to, which was 5 years ago. It started in 2015, ended in 2016. And I managed to win that one, and then I took a 5-year hiatus before I got dragged by my ankles into the current one I'm in right now called Pantheon. So,
Fuck, dude.
yeah.
Dude, we could have met at Mully Grubs. Damn, dude. I was lurking for a bit, and then I took part in some of the audition stuff pre-hype, and then suddenly I don't actually remember what happened. I just kind of disappeared for the next 2 years. But
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I've met you then, but yeah, that's my history. I've seen empires rise and fall, as I've said before.
I still think that should be an OCT.
We started
name.
at generally the same time too.
Mm-hmm.
You're both from Canada as well.
Yeah.
Very strong in the OCT game, Canada.
We're too powerful.
We gotta step up our game. What about you, Jeff?
Geez, I've been in the OCT community for like 9 years. I was in like middle school once I've heard about it. Any notable OCTs? I would say that do enjoy experiencing the experiment OCT. That was something.
Oh, I was
heard about that
lurking
one.
there.
Going by its name, the judges were very experimental with the judging process, and it was really fun back then, the way I saw it. And
Could you expound on the whole experimental judging process thing?
oh geez,
Or you just compare it to how things are usually judged?
No. I can go a little deeper. They did a few things. Progress reports. So we do have to give the judges like daily checkups, and every now and then. What was? I had the other one in mind. Oh yeah, 2 lives for an OCT. Basically they were set up like 2 different brackets, like a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. And in the end, the loser bracket has a chance to win up to the winner's bracket. And like, it was a really nice concept. And then like, I was very interested, so I joined that.
Does it have like a doubles elimination for a loser's bracket and a winner's bracket, where like if losers beats winners, they get to have a rematch for the final round, like it's a fighting game tournament?
I really don't know. Like, it's been a while. I do recall that there was at one point maybe a 3-way round.
Oh, 3-way rounds. Oh, those are the
Oh,
worst.
boy. Oh man.
Again, that was very experimental, but it was fun nonetheless. And like, I'm sure a few other people got into it too.
But Lulzy, how is a 3-way round the worst? Is there something that it has to do with the writing process and the small amount of time that you're given? Oh, dude, I found this thing. It's our talking list. Ooh, OCT tropes. Ooh, we can talk about that now. So can you go about what you think are like the things you usually have to take into account when you write for a tournament or for people in the tournament, and how like 3-way matches are usually a wrench in the creative system for some people?
Oh god. You want to go into that now, or did you want to talk about your OCT history, Lun?
Yeah,
You know,
one.
I tried to do this
Yeah.
the last time as well, like when I had the recording with Rad and Dom. I tried to skip it as well then. I guess I can't really escape it, can I?
No, you can't.
No, I'm holding you at gunpoint from all the way here in Canada.
So I wasn't in the OCT scene until 2014, but I was in the OC League scene at least since 2012. There's this Pokemon League out there called the International Pokemon League. Shoutouts, by the way. We might be reviving it soon. I'm not sure. Where because I was a big fucking weeaboo and I fucking love Pokemon because, of course, every 14... No, I was 13 at the time. Every kid loves Pokemon because who doesn't love fucking Pikachu? Everyone goes fucking crazy over Pikachu. And I wanted to be there, so I was there in the OC League for 2 years, and then I saw a lot of people from the league kind of drop off. And then when they found out where they were going to Walking City. Hi, Lulzy.
Hello.
And after Walking City, after making one of the most god-awful auditions I've ever seen or I've ever made, please don't read it, I tried joining the Salt Islands the year afterwards, and my experiences with the Salt Islands better be left unsaid. And then I joined School of Hard Knocks in 2000 and... fuck. 15? Was it 2000?
The year of 2000 and fuck.
2000 and fuck. Sounds great, dude. And then after, I'm gonna be honest though, I only joined School of Hard Knocks with Shib because we both wanted to beat Kerr. And then when we ended up getting matched with Kerr in round 1, we just kind of went, yay, we're
Fuck it.
fulfilled. We're fulfilled and burned out. And then we made a round in we made our round 2 in like 2 weeks. No, not 2 weeks, 2 days.
Oh my
And it was
god.
just, huh.
Ooh.
This is
Kerr,
okay.
by the
but
way-
it's getting better. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, by the way, Kerr's a mutual friend of all of us. So for most of us
Yeah.
in this chat, in this recording, so
Hugs and kisses.
Yes.
yeah, love you guys.
Love
Do the
you.
little heart.
Little heart
Gesture.
emoji.
Yeah.
And then 2 years after that, I joined Wizard Palooza. Yeah, by God. I'm just thinking about all these OCTs and then like the comics I made for them, and I'm just thinking, no wonder I didn't get past round 1. That was pretty garbage, my God.
Oh.
It's a great
Oh,
learning
buddy.
experience for like paneling and storytelling, but by God, will you make a bunch of shit? Fresh out the anus, it's smelling like roses, baby.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, one of good die.
Then after Wizard Palooza, I took a hiatus from OCTs. And by took a hiatus, I mean I tried starting up my own OCTs 6 months afterwards. And then I had the hiatus. I said, the OCTs aren't creatively fulfilling for me, so I'm just gonna turn around and never look back at them again. And then I joined Murder House in 2019 because I got peer pressured by myself. Nobody actually told me to join.
You single-handed.
I think at that point it stops being peer pressure.
It's just like, I think I may be a junkie. The dopamine rush is really good, though.
Yeah, it's kind of addictive.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Here's one thing. The greatest thing about OCTs, you're gonna force people to read your comic. They're gonna know you made something. They're gonna know you know how to draw, and you don't know how to write. And you're gonna force them. You're gonna read this whether you fucking like it or not, whether it's good or bad. The important thing is you have an audience.
Yes,
Yeah,
at least 5 to 7 people will be reading your comic.
Yeah.
5 to
Oh,
7
God.
more people who would be reading it than if it was a webcomic on Tappa.
Oh
So,
God.
So Murder House ended in May of it's June of 2020, and then after that, I won the tournament, so I said, you know what? I did everything I wanted to do, so I'm just gonna leave the OCT scene forever, hanging this on my
Pull a
back.
Thanos on the farm.
I was in the farm. After I kill all those kids, I just go like, this is such a great life, I did what I wanted. Now I can go make bread. And then 2 months afterward, Pantheon starts, and I wasn't interested in joining Pantheon at all. I was just there for the hype squad because like a lot of people I know were joining it. But
wow.
3 days before the deadline, me and the friend were like, I thought of this really cool story we could do for Pantheon. Like,
Hypothetically, what if we?
hypothetically speaking, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? And then she was like, yeah, that would be cool, hypothetically. Hey,
What's
Dom,
not
I made
hypothetically
this
gonna
script.
Not
Hey,
so
you don't-
hypothetical anymore.
Take a look at this hypothetical script I got here. Ooh, that's such a funny script. It's a good thing we're never actually going to join, right? Ooh, Dom, look at this hypothetical thumbnails. We have she drew thumbnails, and the next thing we knew, it was kind of like a fever dream, and we already had an audition out.
Yeah, wake up. I wake up like right after deadline. I wake up and I see that they posted a fucking whole ass audition, and I was just like, "Wow, those insane motherfuckers literally coming out from just
Nowhere.
finishing OCTs, and the both of them whole ass I think a whole 12-page audition. Really beautiful audition, by the way. Really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, madness, and I applaud you, but also, oh my god.
When the spirit of creativity takes you, it just kind of like takes you by the neck. It starts wringing you out like a pigeon. In that one novel, The Ringer. I'm not sure if any of you have ever read the novel. It's pretty fucked up. They made us read a novel where you kill pigeons for the 5th grade. I'm not sure why I said this. I'm kind of going on a tangent right now. So, like, OCT tropes, right? That's such a great thing to talk about. So
Yeah, OCT jokes.
So how are a 3-way? Man, I was saying that, and that just sounded wrong. So okay,
Oh
let's
my
just go
god.
from the start.
Three-way rounds are hell for everyone. They're hell for the judges, they're hell for the contestants.
How so?
Well, first of all, normally you have to take into account you and your opponent, which could be up to 2 to 4 characters, just in case if you or your opponent has a team, because usually with OCTs you can have 1 to 2 characters, and
The tag-alongs.
And the tag-alongs. And then with 3-ways, you got 3 to like 2, 4, 6 characters at minimum to worry about, plus the tag-alongs and the judge characters, and trying to get the stories to link up between your double opponent's entries is the worst. And luckily, I mean, I haven't seen it in a while anymore because second wins are a thing now to try and prevent 3-way rounds.
There's a 3-way round right now.
Yeah, there is an OCT which we cannot name, but
No.
there is one going on. And I was like,
Fucking
oh
Lun, right?
no.
That fucking asshole Lun made this tournament and then said, "Oh, let's have a 3-way rounds. All the rounds are 3-way rounds." That guy's an asshole.
Oh my god.
Damn it, Lud.
Then I
But
hope
yeah,
you guys fucking hit that.
just to build on that point, like second wins are when in previous round, if someone lost, if their round was good enough and if someone drops out soon enough, instead of having a three-way round, they would bring somebody back from the previous round to fill in that spot.
Yeah, I was actually related to that. In Molly Grubs, I actually lost round 3, and a lot of people dropped in round 4, which is very unfortunate because there's like only
Oh.
one other person standing. And they said, okay, there's 2 options. We either bring back someone as a second win, or we do a 3-rounder or something like that there. And everyone collectively went, no 3-rounder, bring back someone. And it turned out that someone they were looking at was me, apparently. So
Nice. And then you kick their asses.
yeah.
Back from the dead, like a fucking phoenix. I've
Yeah,
been
it's
shot
like-
7 times and I'm still breathing.
Oh,
yeah,
What really
just be
hurts-
like, bitch, you thought you'd see the last of me.
yeah. What really hurts though is if you lose in round 1 and you get brought back for a second win and lose again. It's like, oh, that's a real hurt to the ego.
Yeah,
I say from personal experience.
An F in the chat.
yeah, big F in the chat, boys. F in the chat, boys.
What about you, Jeff? You got anything you want to talk about, like tropes wise, or like if you want to add on to like the 3-way thing?
Not exactly. No. I haven't like for most OCTs. Usually, I just reach the audition stage and like don't make it through the rest of the way.
It's kind of unfortunate because when you get to round 1, that's when you realize how fucking bullshit this entire system is.
Real talk though, the audition period is the best period because
The
you
honeymoon
meet people.
period.
You're all talking with your OCs and you're happy, you're enjoying
Yeah.
it, and then when you
Yeah.
actually have to go up against someone, it's like, oh no.
Yeah. If you make friends with people in the audition period and you go against them, you're just like, oh no.
Dude, wouldn't it be like cool if like listening at last minute, like Emblem joins the tournament and then you get matched up with him in round 1? That would be super cool, and then you
Oh,
just
no.
lose immediately. Wouldn't it be like, so cool? So like a thing you have to like take into account is when you do an audition period, you're basically just doing a normal comic. You know, you're telling a straightforward story with the ending being your character joins the tournament. So you're basically working with your characters for the most part. If you want to use like the judges' characters, judges usually have their own characters which you can use for the OCT for world building purposes. Now the problems comes in during round 1 when you get matched up with someone and you realize, I need to write my characters and my opponent's characters. Oh, wow, I don't think I've ever written anything before. Is this disrespectful? Can I kill them? I can't kill them. What the fuck am I gonna do now? So there's gonna be like a bunch of problems that you're gonna face. Like sometimes
you
you
can always
just get,
ask your opponent if you want to kill them, because
Yeah.
sometimes they will let you.
Yeah.
but sometimes too, you will just get matched up with an incompatible character, like someone you just don't know how to write, which is nice from
yeah.
a creative standpoint, I guess. But you got 1 month to make a finished comic, and you can't spend all of that time writing if you want to actually get done in time. So usually you have like 2 or 3 days which you can spend on writing if you plan on inking or coloring the entire thing. You can spend a bit longer if you're a time crunch lord. Experiences with that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, is this coming from personal experience?
All those kids I had to kill.
Yeah, there was a
There's
There's a
murder.
lot of children you had to crack their skulls.
But I guess that's also like the fun part of it is like getting matched up with characters you would never think of getting matched up with. So when I was in Murder House, the tournament's called Murder House. So I brought in this detective character who is like, while he's a good guy, he's not really above killing other people, which was the plan I had in mind. So if he gets matched up with another adult or a psychopath, he won't have any gripes with killing them. But what ended up happening is, I think the judges may be a bit sadistic. They keep pairing this 27-year-old man, this 27-year-old widow who desperately wants children against children. And then, then it's like,
Well,
The
Oh my
fuck do I
God.
do now?
But that comes with the challenge of OCTs. You never know what you're gonna get.
Also, you get
Yeah,
that
like a
sweet
box of
angst.
chocolate. Yeah, that good old character angst. That's a good trope that a lot of people like to use for their OCTs. Sorry, I like segueing back into tropes here.
Yeah.
It's very common for a lot of writers to use character angst and slowly reveal stuff about the character to probably garner some sympathy or to maybe explain motivations or whatnot. And there's a couple sad boys in there, like Lun's detective character. His wife is dead and stuff, and he finds out in the most she did. He finds out in the most horrible way possible, and then he has to witness kids getting dead. So
And by him, he kills them.
by him, yeah. Yeah,
This doesn't happen in stories I write, by the way. This is an OCT only thing.
Yeah, it's all OCT only. Yeah, and a lot of people like to really use the angst. A lot of the big OCT icons, because it's been around for like more than a decade, and there's definitely been a lot of iconic characters that popped. I'm not naming names. I'm not naming names. I'm not gonna name any names.
We all know what you're talking about.
That's a can of worms.
There's particularly two of them, which again I won't name names, but they have a good amount of angst happening behind them. One of them, I'm not quite sure. One of them is actually just a straight up fucking sociopath, but there's something behind there which we don't know of because of the OCT, and therefore their storylines literally go nowhere if they lose. And there's another one that implies there's something weird going on there, but like again, you never really get to find out. But they garnered a lot of sympathy, and they become what's known as Tumblr sexy mans. But that's an entirely different can of worms right there.
You want to make an AMV?
Which one are you talking about? Like Lun with the helmet or Lun with the red eye?
The one with the helmet is like a straight up sociopath, and it kind of seems that he's very aware of what he's done, and he doesn't particularly feel bad about it. The one with the red eye, there's an implication that there might be something up, that he might feel something, but like it's not really explored because they never went forward in any meaningful way, so we don't know about that. But they're both fucking sociopaths, and that's what makes them Tumblr sexy men. Anyways, but again,
so who are we talking about again, and where can I find AMVs of them?
Oh my God, please no.
You can find the AMVs of these characters on YouTube.com.
Cool. If you search up Lun with a helmet. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
You're Tumblr sexy man.
I am a Tumblr sexy man. Have you seen my can I say pubes in this chat? I just did.
You said worse words.
Yeah, you have said worse words.
You said roses coming out of your asshole, so I think we're safe.
I think we're safe on pubes. I will say that sorry. I was gonna say that I got government assigned
Personas.
The one with the helmet as kin for a friend's birthday party, so there was that.
Oh wow.
Can't wait to see the pepperoni nipples in that guy.
Yeah, a quick digression. We were playing Among Us, and said friend was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna government assign everyone a kin of a Tumblr sexy man," and I got that one. And so what I did is I bought the little tiny crewmate pet to follow me around. So I said, "And this is my son."
There's always like a chance because these are OCTs to get like 32 fresh faces of characters. Most of them will just just be remembered by the guys within the OCT. Sometimes you get lucky and a few people notice your character. Sometimes you get extremely unlucky and the large audience sees your character without any of the context of what's happening. And then they just start drawing a lot of porn of your characters without you knowing, and you go,
Uh-oh.
Mom, where's the shotgun again? I wanna
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But,
I wanna taste something right now.
I haven't been able to feel it so many.
So like for a lot of these tournaments, like I guess the biggest trope between them is like the fact that when you win, you get a wish of some sort granted to you. That's like the easiest one. It's like you get a Deus Ex Machina at the end, and of course your character would be like, "Yeah, you mean to tell me I can get my dead wife, my kids, and an orphanage if I win this tournament?"
Well, having the end point of an OCT plot be a wish. It's just easy for everyone, like so anybody can make any kind of character. All they would need to, as their only real actual requirement is having the desire to enter, or if you're some people make the entry like, oh, they got here by mistake. What am I going to do now? But I mean, it's just the easiest way to get everybody on board. That's why it always tends to be like, oh, you get one wish, or you get this, or you get that. It's just a good way to reunite.
The finalists
Yeah.
always like, throw the wish away anyway. They always go, the wish is a lie.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of the very few that's like, well, I got kidnapped, may as well just stay, I guess.
Damn.
Or they either throw the wish away, or there might be a few things where they use the wish to reverse everything that's happened, which is kind of sad because there goes all that character development. No, computer, do not fall asleep on me again.
It's like, no, my character development, no, my actual year's worth of content. It's not canon anymore.
Sonic died. Oh no.
Oh no.
God.
I mean, I just like to think that, I think it's very. Would it be mean to call a lot of like OCTs like on Sonic 06 tier? Or is it like more accurate to say that Sonic 06 has the writing of like a high schooler making comics and TV and art?
Oh my god.
I would say it's the latter.
It's more charitable that way. Because a lot of people who do join these are teenagers in high school, and it's a great way for them to.
Well, a lot of teenagers in high school also make the OCTs too, because like there was a boom of them for a while. Where OCTs used to be like a dime a dozen. Like there's a new OCT being hosted by just random people.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely in the mid 2010s when there was a big boom in OCTs, and there was like a whole bunch. But unfortunately, when that happened, and we'll get back to tropes in a second. This is a quick digression. What happened then was that because there was a lot of quantity, there was a little bit of less quality. There was always like a few quality OCTs around, but then there was always a problem with people with management and whatnot, and there was always and management and in general there was a time where there was a very, very toxic community that was surrounding OCTs, and it definitely it's the sound of Lulzy's. I keep your name is very similar to another person I know. Lulzy's voice is that there's definitely it kind of steered a good chunk of people away from OCTs in general because of the toxicity of the environment.
Like 13-year-olds, apparently emotionally unstable, depressed 13-year-olds aren't the best at managing other people. Who could have seen that coming? Well, not 13. Everyone else could.
And a lot of these OCTs too, like they fell through like before runs even started because one, they didn't garner enough attention, or two, people just like the idea of running one, but then when they actually get to all the work that's involved behind the scenes, they're just like, no, and then they just stop.
What do you mean I gotta make a judge character? Oh god, what do you mean I gotta update my journals? Oh fuck, oh.
Critiques? I have to.
The fuck's a critique, bro?
Like review around again.
You could always go the cheap route and just tell them, I'm gonna host an OCT where all the critiques are like, I like, I don't like. And that's the only two. Sometimes they get a third option though, like once in a blue moon you go, oh, maybe like, maybe don't.
Maybe.
This part good, this part not. That's the best way to go about it.
God, yeah. Back to tropes. What are tropes that are most common? Sorry, I'm trying to keep on track.
So for a lot of these OCTs, they're tournament style brackets, but they don't actually follow a tournament structure for a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Like Murder House, for example, was like everyone was in a house, and you just murdered people inside. Some contestants took this to mean, oh, it's a tournament, where I took it to mean as, oh, it's just a show, and you just kill other people. So what happens is, since this isn't a tournament structure in universe, sometimes you can choose not to kill or not to defeat your opponent, and then you drag them along with you, and then you can use them for as a new cast member. Yeah, you can use them for character development or plot device. Or, maybe they just cute. I brought Brian along with me because, I really like his design. This
I like Brian too.
He's a white outline. I say.
The glasses. With
White
just glasses.
white
He's
glasses.
literally just a white blob, a shape of a man, a white silhouette of a man with just big, thick rimmed glasses on his head. That's it. That's, that's
God,
all
Oh,
Brian
great.
is.
Another Tumblr sexy man.
Yeah. Oh God, Brian is Tumblr sexy man. Yeah.
Tumblr is a Brian. Brian is a Tumblr sexy man. What about you
Yeah,
guys?
Brian is.
What do you think about tag-alongs? Do you hate them? Do you love them? Do you wanna, make out with them like a Tumblr sexy man? Is it the
You're
ones
already dealing with a bunch of characters because of each OCT round. You can
Mhm.
keep a tagline for a bit, but I personally think they start to congest the plot.
you kill them?
Yeah.
Either
You gotta
kill
murder
them
them.
or let them just like have them just like split off or like just go off screen. But like
Yeah.
you're already juggling so many characters, it becomes to the point where like everything becomes so like saturated with a bunch of characters that are all from their own thing and all have their own lives. So people
Yeah.
tend to lose track of the actual story.
You're gonna have like a neon-haired furry next to like this gruff and tough Rob Liefeld-looking
Yeah.
character.
It becomes a little zany, and anybody reading it out of context will just be like, "What the fuck am I reading?"
What the fuck is happening here? Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. As someone who used to, because I usually when I'm in tournaments, I like to really I'm mostly in there for the social aspect as much as the drawing aspect. I like to make friends with my opponents and stuff like that there, and I like the opponent and the characters so much that I include them into my rounds as like a means to be like, it's like you'll move on through. After my last few tournaments, I realized that this is really congesting the plot. There's no way I can fit all these characters in here. They gotta push some characters aside to make way for something that I'm supposed to be doing. And I actually got a critique saying that this is your story, not your opponent's or previous opponent's story. You got to make it yourself. And I'm like, that's very valid. So I think that tag-alongs can be okay as like little cameo things, but like having them constantly stay with you, especially a large amount through the entire tournament, can, as what Lulzy said, can really congest the plot and get things all mixed up and confusing, and it's not fun.
So, Ash, are you telling me I can't have 16 characters who all get developed over the course of, 10 pages? I can only make 10 pages this month? God, that's not even a page a character.
Like not
No.
even a page, like more like strips.
So, like, a common thing you'll see in DeviantArt OCTs is you can only read them in DeviantArt, really, because you're going to see a 25,000 by 800 pixel canvas. It's going, wow, that's really long. Ooh,
Page one.
Yeah.
it's pretty girthy as well.
Oh God. Oh my God. The format definitely is kind of stuck to DeviantArt. I know that a lot of people have taken to working
Discord
with
and Twitter.
PDFs and Discord and Twitter, and
For Imgur.
and also just like Imgur, like or like a whole ass like PDFs and stuff like, or YouTube, because some people actually do submit animations or animatics and stuff.
Fucking madmen.
Yeah, madmen is what they are, and some have also just released individual pages and whatnot there, but a lot of the times the format is this long ass page. I've unfortunately I'm still using the long ass format page, but I make them all individual pages. And sometimes you could try to read it on mobile.
Have fun with fucking Eclipse ruined everything.
yeah, have fun with that. It's very rough.
I was on the train once and I was trying to read Latte's round. It was round 3. Shout outs to Latte, by the way. She's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I was reading her round 3 on the train, and then I was on my phone, of course, because I don't bring a desktop computer to me while I commute. So I go and then I zoom in. So I click on the Eclipse app, not the DeviantArt thing, and then I zoom into the comic, and then it just zooms in super close. Oh wow! Can I zoom out? Please, I want to see the art. You can see the art. You can see it 1 pixel at a time, my sweet little nugget.
Oh god. Yeah, the formatting can be a bit rough.
On a tangent though, can you fucking believe it? You can't delete old journals on DeviantArt anymore. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You
Oh, you
launched
can't?
this
Oh
update.
no.
You
Oh,
launched
no.
this update and you can't delete journals. What the fuck? And then you go ask them, okay, Mr. Deaconite, what's wrong with this? Why can't I delete this old journal where I see a lot of mean things and I want to delete it so people don't have receipts of me? And they're like, oh, we just released the clips and we just have a few features that are missing. Like deleting old things. Like, what the fuck? Why would you even release this right now? Okay, so what were we talking about?
What's
Tropes.
up there? We were talking about tropes. Yes,
Tropes.
tropes. I'm trying to think of what other tropes there.
I mean, because
How
like because of how the things go, where you're facing another opponent, and then you all have a common goal, and the fact of the matter is, for most tournaments, you only have 5 weeks, 7 weeks maybe if you ask for an extension to make your round. You end up not being, sadly, for the grand majority of us, we're not really able to actually show what we're capable of because that's a little time. And when I was doing Murder House for the first half of it, before Corona happened, I had college, and in college they had us make like animated movies, and I had to spend 4 hours in a commute every day, so that was like cutting into my time. And I'm like, okay, so I can't really make the best of what I have, so it's just let's cut a few corners. No one's gonna notice. So yeah, sometimes those cut corners also pop up in terms of storytelling, where you will have 8 identical rounds in round 1 of people just talking to their opponent and going, "I don't want to fight you, but you must, I guess." And then they fight, and then they win, and then they move on to the next round.
Yeah, going over tropes and stuff. A lot of character tropes. There's always like the pacifist, the clear psychopath, like the duo that's like really buddy together.
And they make
I think
fucking
that
psychopath. Sorry.
go on.
You go on, Lulzy.
Go on.
oh, that was my list. But like,
Oh, that was it.
and I guess
There's more.
like the rival too, with like
Mm.
like 2 characters together, but they're rivals. But like, there's once you've seen a bunch of the OCT community, like you've seen a lot of like the same kind of characters. Which on one hand, yeah, it gets tiring, but at the same time, people are like newer entering to OCT, so they're not aware that these are tropes. So like, good on them for still going with what they want.
Yeah.
We're not telling
And
you guys
some
to
of them,
avoid them, by the way.
Oh yeah, totally. Like if you want to do it, go for it. They're tropes because people love them.
yeah. I was gonna say, and sometimes people just straight up take a character from wholesale and just reskin it, because there's been a lot of helmets that I've seen that have
Sometimes they
Yes,
just
there's
yellow.
plenty of
Yeah.
copycats.
plenty of copycats. Yeah, I've seen one
Is
that
that
was the
Ludwig?
yellow,
That's
the
when you
yellow, the yellow helmet one. Who was literally just the yellow helmet one,
Dude,
but a
didn't
furry.
Lon make that?
No,
No,
But
Lon didn't make that?
no, it was. I don't even remember the artist anymore, which I won't even name in the first place. But I remember that it was essentially the character, but furry, and they even had a little companion. It was a doll, but they spoke it the same way as the character, as the helmet character's little companion, which was a crow.
That's really cute, though. That's when you know you made it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna make it like a version of Never. It's gonna be like a cute robot. His name is Always. So he's like the same color.
You say that, but I remember there was a point in time where I don't know if they were trolling or not, but someone was actually like trying to make like a furry version of Never and Paradox, but like as their own
Oh.
characters. I remember vaguely. I put it out of my mind, but like just you talking
God.
about the copycats just like brought it back to my consciousness. I'm like, what the? So yeah,
You
that's
gotta
happened
give
to me
them-
before. I couldn't
gotta
tell
give
if
them a
they were
kiss.
trolling or not, but like
No, you made it. Dude.
it was eventually taken down. But
Why?
it was a little disturbing. Like, all right, well.
Why did they take it down though? You know, it's such a beautiful tribute to like an iconic duo in OCT history. Just a little.
I mean, I don't appreciate ideas being taken like that.
Oh no, they're totally different, dude. Totally different. I don't know what you're talking about.
Totally different.
It's fine.
Do not steal. But yeah, but that's it's I guess imitation is is a part of flattery or whatever that whole saying is. I don't know. I don't read.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I do not agree with that phrase.
Yeah, definitely not. But
that's fair.
There's some cases where it's just like you can tell that this person's a fan of these characters, and there's some that literally just like I said, take it wholesale and don't even hide it.
If you see like kids doing this, like don't berate them.
Yeah,
because they're kids.
Yeah, they're kids. They don't.
If you see like a 20-year-old doing it, though, you're fine to bully them. Okay, I'm not saying you can bully people on the internet. I'm just saying I won't get mad at you.
How about judge tropes? How about judge character tropes? 30 particular ones that can stand out. There's always the one that turns out super fucking evil. Is that
there's always like the charismatic host who's actually evil if they don't appear to be right from the outright. There's always the judge character that people turn into like, oh, they're sweet, but like they're the ones who are the evil ones.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to think of like others off the bat.
Yeah, or there's the one where people just straight up sexualize it. It's like, oh, okay, this is the Tumblr sexy man of the tournament.
So it's kind of like so you just describe both of you just described Crow because there are a lot of panels of Crow being incredibly attractive. Crow is the judge character of Stranger to You, the host of Murder House. And can I just say, man's pretty hot. He's also pretty evil. So it's like
he's pretty evil. He's literally a twisted fucking psychopath.
Hit me up though.
That ain't gonna stop people.
Okay, his fashion sense is like goth hick, punk hick. I don't know. He looks like a hick, but I usually describe it as Panic at the Hoedown. That's how I describe his fashion sense.
He could also be like a frat boy who stayed in college 10 years too long.
Yeah, it's like such wildly different images in my head. Like I've seen this character before, but like the way you're just describing, I'm getting like all these different images, and the fact that it's all from one person, it's like, wow, that is some power right there.
But yeah, what other judge tropes there?
We also got the judge. We always have a Judas because if your characters themselves don't want to bring any conflict to the tournament, you can have the Judas of the tournament do it. If the tournament is an evil tournament where we're gonna kill everyone here, welcome to our house. We're gonna shoot you in the front when you get in here. We might suck your cock, but we'll also bite it off afterwards.
Oh my god!
There's gonna be the one guy who's like, no, don't suck his cock and bite it off afterwards. That's wrong. Sometimes. When you have a tournament where it's like, so we're like the humanitarian aid, we want to help everyone. So all of these people right here, you're all gonna get food, and then you will have one judge who says, "I'm gonna put razor blades in all of the apples, and an IED as well."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. There's definitely
also going back to like judge tropes really quick. I thought of a couple others. There's always one that's like a comedy relief that people tend to turn into like a joke, and then there's always the one that just they look like they really shouldn't be there. Like they're just so wildly different from the rest of the aesthetic.
Yeah,
they're the host's friend that go.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, can you help me judge this OCT right now?
I'm not even gonna deny it. Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna bring like he's like Mr. Olimar from Earthbound, but he's got a huge dick. Can you not do that? Can you please not do that? If you don't let me have this, I'm not judging the tournament. Fuck. And then you just have Mr. Olimar there. You got like the Power Rangers, except you replace the Yellow Ranger, Mr. Olimar with a huge dick, and no one ever like mentions it at all.
It's just there. Yeah. He's just there, and everyone just accepts it.
Not all judge teams are like this, by the way. So if there are like any OCT judges like watching this right now and then going, "Am I the Mr. Olimar with the large cock?" Maybe you are.
Oh my god.
Probably not.
Yeah. How about OCT plot tropes?
Taking place in a dreamland or an asylum.
Yeah.
This is great, dude. Because like whenever
not to name any OCTs, wink.
the worst place to dip our toes in.
Sometimes they're in the city and sometimes it walks.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
you're in the zone,
apparently.
and sometimes it ends.
Yeah. Dude, I heard there's this like one OCT right now. It's like, they're a bunch of knights and they're in a wandering castle. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
A
Well, I heard
walking
about it.
building.
It's got really nice art going on. I really enjoy it.
I really just hope that, he released the entire chapter at once instead of like one page a week. That'd be dope. So like the most common tropes you can kind of see within OCTs as well is the let's all gang up and beat Hitler together one.
Yeah, let's all beat up Hitler together. Yeah, the end. I like to call it the battle royale finale where everyone not really battle
Beating up
royale,
Hitler.
but literally, yeah, everyone just pretty much bands together to beat up Hitler.
This is my
Or
favorite
whatever
episode
main
of Hey
enemy.
Arnold.
Usually the judge. That one is
Usually a judge. Sometimes contestants will bring in their own antagonists to the story, and then they make everyone else's character help them out to beat up that Hitler. But
The power of friendship.
The antagonist as that Hitler. Or it's a judge.
How do you guys feel about putting Hitler into your rounds? Because like a lot of like OCT writers, so like they'll introduce Hitler completely outside from the tournament. Like in round 2, they go like, "Man, my life's pretty shitty. I wonder who's been doing it." And then you cut to Hitler going, "It was me." And then they take over the tournament. How do you feel about that?
I mean, like, I wouldn't mind it as long as it's set up
Early on.
Yeah, if it's done well, it could be really good.
If it's like foreshadowed well enough, like especially in the audition, if it's well enough and it carries over to the audition, you kind of see how it kind of all falls into place, and then when it finally happens, you're like, this makes sense. Like you kind of seen it coming, but you didn't know who it was, and you're like, oh fuck, Hitler's back,
Personally,
Yeah,
I just don't like writing Hitler in. He's had too much media for the past like 70 years or so. I don't like it.
It does kind of depend on the OCT too, because like some OCTs are like really open-ended, so there's not like an actual conflict presented besides get the wish. So
Or else Hitler.
like,
would-
I need someone who's trying to break the rules and not do the tournament, but try and get the wish, and they have to be stopped, kind of thing, which is fine.
God damn it.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine. Yeah.
What about you, Jeff? Do you agree with putting Hitler into your rounds?
It has to be tasteful. That's all I can say for that.
Not actual Hitler.
Which,
Not
by
actual
the way,
Hitler.
wasn't
Like
there
an
a
antagonist.
Hitler? No, wasn't there a Hitler in an OCT at one point?
Yeah, a friend made.
Was it? What?
That was long ago. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We were
I will
15
not-
and stupid.
I will not think about it. I will not perceive.
So, personally, I'm not a fan of Hitler. I'm not a fan of his ideologies, his mustache. The motherfucker couldn't even he didn't even know how linear perspective worked at the age of 20 when he wanted to be a professional painter at the time. Especially seeing as it was the 1940s, this was a great time for realism, and the fact that he wanted to go into like a college of contemporary arts without engaging with contemporary art movements. I just think it's pretty pitiful. It was short-sighted of him. He did a lot of short-sighted moves in general, but that is to say, I don't like putting in Hitler in my OCT rounds because it's an original character tournament. If at the end of the day you're not fighting your opponent's character or you guys aren't interacting together, it's kind of disrespectful, I guess, because you join this tournament because you want to draw other people's characters, you want to tell a story, and you want to see your character get drawn. So imagine if you get to round 5 and then your character ends up fighting Hitler, which is to say they should fight Hitler. This is a unanimous thing. Everyone thinks Hitler is bad, which Hitler is objectively evil. We need to stop him. But I would have liked it better if Hitler wasn't there and you fought your opponent. Or if you are gonna fight Hitler, make sure your opponent is super involved in your rounds. Make them a key part in beating Hitler.
Having theoretical Hitler in your rounds is probably if your character is a pacifist, it's probably the best way to progress your rounds. Besides, I don't want to fight. No, you must fight me. all the time. That's
Mhm.
where that's where I usually tend to see that kind of plot.
It's like
Yeah.
or if you are going to bring Hitler into your round, hypothetical Hitler, not the actual Hitler,
Mhm.
you should have put him in as one of your characters. You know, because like most OCTs have two character slots anyway. There'd be like no shame if you use your antagonist as one of the characters you're entering. So if your opponent also wants to use theoretical Hitler in their rounds, they have the freedom to do
Yeah.
so. And if they only
Yeah.
want to engage with your main character, the protagonist, the Shunin boy with the band-aid in his nose, goggles in his head, and he's like 13 years old, but he's ripped as fuck. If you see him shirtless, he's got muscles up the wazoo. It's like, what the fuck has he been eating? They can do that too. Like there's one contestant in Pantheon that does that. You know, they have Hitler and Hitler's son, but Hitler also plays a role in the rounds, but it's Hitler's son who's the focus. Hitler Jr., if you will.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know which character. Yeah. It's Hitler. Yeah, theoretical Hitler's son, who's the main focus.
Theoretically.
Who's trying to, if I'm correct, stop Hitler.
Yeah,
Theoretical Hitler. Yeah.
so that's how you do it.
We're
Time
being so
travel to
vague. I'm
kill
not even
Hitler.
sure we're talking about the same characters.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Vagueness is good because if we get any more specific, I don't think they'd appreciate us calling the characters Hitler and Hitler Jr.
That's true.
Hitler Jr. Yeah, you would definitely you because you're closest to the person who literally will hunt you down. And probably next we see of you, you're probably just kind of lying in a ditch somewhere.
I would be like, oh no, I was killed by a theoretical Hitler. I thought he was real, but of course he was.
Oh my god. But
So
yeah.
how else can we bash in this medium we love so much?
I was
Just
gonna
make
say,
fun
what
of-
about
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, what about tropes that we enjoy thoroughly in the tournament in these OCTs?
Best friends. You find your best friend in the tournament. That's the best type of tag along.
2 rows kicking ass. Hell yeah.
You know, when
Yeah.
when you fight your round one opponent, and then they share an open mouth kiss at the end of the round one, and then in round two they're like holding hands the entire time while they're fighting their opponents. It's like, yeah, well, organic friendship, hell yeah. 'Cause I really like it when characters interact with one another. This is also like one of the reasons that I kind of advocate for one character only tournaments. Because you're kind of you're put into a corner where if you want to have interesting dialogue, you have to engage with your opponent's character, because a lot of times, because it's a lot easier to enter with two characters and then the entire time they just end up ping-ponging off of each other, because of course they're both characters you wrote, they obviously have good chemistry. You can do that for the dialogue of the entire round, but what ends up happening if you're not very experienced is you ignore the other person. Is that just me?
I can
No.
say that there's definitely been times, because I like to usually enter into people because I like having two people bounce off each other, and usually I unfortunately I split the party in between rounds sometimes, so then I could get one-on-ones with different characters and whatnot there. But I can see how it could be hard to juggle people, like a three-way conversation between 3 characters or more, because then you could possibly go up against, you could have a duo that could go against another duo, and then that's like, oh no. And I can see where there could be some major trouble with that. And then you gotta find a good conclusion to that, and good character development, because you always gotta
Develop
gotta,
your
like,
opponent a bit.
develop your opponent a bit, and you also gotta develop your character a bit there. So a lot of times it kind of has that kind of ends with like, defeat equals friendship, which is really highly common in OCTs. Dragons Ball PP. But which I don't mind. Again, as long as it's done well and it's enjoyable, I honestly don't mind that. And I'm all for fucking friendship, dude. I love that shit. It's my
Holding
crack.
hands.
Yeah.
It's all about the execution.
You can have a little homo as a treat.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah.
Their pinkies
Yeah.
interlock, and you're like, how do I draw pinkies interlocking?
Yeah.
One of the things that really interests me though is like how conflicts like conflict. So like you have round 3 where like one opponent has a whole different story and another has another story using the same character as their opponent's story. Like, how would you guys think would be the best way to handle that?
You just
I
override
think
it.
a lot of the stronger entries, when like there's a lot of baggage on either end, is just go on with yours. Maybe try your best to like hint at or like just kind of have address their own baggage. But like, if you have a strong plot thread you want to follow in your comic, like stick to it. Like, don't let it dilute with like this whole other random person's like complete baggage. Like, address it, yes, but like don't lose sight of your direction for somebody else's
also
direction.
at the end of the day, you gotta remember your rounds will read as one long narrative work.
Exactly.
If like at round 1 you want to save the orphans, and then in round 3 someone says, I gotta go do my taxes, and then you help them do their taxes instead of saving the orphans, the readers will be like, what happened to the orphans? Are they important still? You know, it's really not this example, but you know, it's
the idea is there, yes.
Yeah, the idea is there.
Yeah.
You can do what I did though, and make sure and I'm still really happy with what I did with Murder House, and
you killed everyone?
No, I was kind of expecting to I have it ingrained that I would lose round 1 all the time, so I said, you know, I wanted to like make this plot reveal in maybe round 3, where the character I have, his wife, is actually dead. But then I had like a little bit of an self-doubt at the time of I was posting, so I was saying, you know, if I don't get in, I could just put this banger of a plot twist right at the end of round 1. So even if I lose, I will have a complete story that will have some impact. So by the time that I go to round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, I ended up not having any plot threads to follow. So I would, so there weren't any conflicts anymore. So I would just take over the story of my opponents. So, you know, that's one way to not have any conflicts for your tournaments, is to shit the bed in round 1 or the audition period.
Oh my god! I mean, it worked out. It worked out. Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure your friend over there who has the Tumblr sexy man, there wasn't like much of an agenda.
Which one? I have multiple friends who have. I have multiple who are in that tournament.
God damn, Osh. Osh is like just bathing in like one slur sweat right now. Just
I have a lot of friends who are in that tournament that all had Tumblr sexy men.
Well, the most popular one, that person I don't really know. You know, they're a bit of a mystery guy.
This doesn't help. Is it the other detective?
Well,
or are you talking about are you talking about My Chemical Romance?
The most popular one because of YouTube and stealing and ripping off of DeviantArt's flashes. They got pretty popular because while there was a plot thread to follow, for the most part, the rounds were just self-contained and they were just good stories in and of themselves. It's just a fight. So
I'm literally trying to think of which person you're talking about, but I have no. I have.
So if you want to make a really good OCT round, another thing you can do, aside from having a really strong arc, is to have an arc that doesn't exist and just make really good rounds every single time. You know, just like an episode.
Yeah. How do you want an OCT? Just be good.
Just be good.
Great advice.
arcs, it's much easier to fuck up an arc, right? If you have an arc and then your opponent ends up not being able to contribute to the arc, you gotta choose between involving them or throwing them out. If you involve them, you end up fucking up your story. If you throw them out, the judges are gonna go, "Hey, so where the fuck was your opponent though? Nice comic you got there, but where the fuck were they though?" Oh, they made a cameo in panel 3 in page 5. The fuck?
God.
I'd kill you if you do that.
Oh boy.
God. Yeah, I still don't know who you're talking about, by the way, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, don't worry. The ones that are sweat is everywhere.
Yeah, literally, like the mutual server with those friends, because I literally like a good more than half of said friends were in that tournament with you. So I honestly have no fucking idea.
So
but like, I get what you're talking
like
about.
hot man going, oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of Tumblr sexy men in that tournament there.
There's a lot of moisturizer.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, I get what you're saying though.
I wanted to say something, but I forgot it entirely. I'll get back to you on that.
Did Vivid think of any?
I can't really think of any tropes right now. No.
Yeah, because I noticed you've been quiet. And I don't want to constantly talk.
No, it's okay.
His name?
Naturally quiet.
His name?
Fine.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
My name is Jeff.
Sometimes though, you can find an OCT you like, and then you just want to make an OCT round. So you find one of these shitpost tournaments every now and then. What do you guys feel about those shitpost tournaments?
Oh,
I think those are fucking great. Those are just like no holds barred. Make fun of every trope you've seen. Just be the funny men. They're a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Like shout out to Super Money. That was really fucking funny.
They actually had a hit there, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like no holds barred. You just did whatever you wanted.
Yeah. It like literally like I remember someone posted like an animation that was like 3 seconds and that was it.
Yeah.
It was like
it could get pretty crude, but it was still pretty funny.
Oh, very crude.
But
dicks everywhere.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's
fun. Anyone who participated in that was like people who participated in other OCTs before.
Yeah, they were like literally like a round was like a week or something like that. And
so now that we've talked at length about the tropes you find in OCTs, what about have any of you like done much writing outside of tournament stuff?
I mean, I'm of the mind of, hey, I want to make my own comic, but then never started.
I am like that too, but also I've written a few fan fiction, but I've never. There are a few of them I have posted, but then I've since like let them get lost to the ether, and others that I just have not. I've started, but then I deleted right away because I am not very confident in my ability to write or let other people see. But I also write like just a general. Was that there? I guess short stories or drabbles involving friends, characters, stuff, interactions, and whatnot. And they're good. They're good writing exercises.
Yeah, I guess on top of mine too. I do write like stuff for tabletop games too.
Yeah, tabletop games.
I'm GMing something right now, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Wink.
Yeah. I've been currently developing that. Also, might eventually turn into a small comic. Maybe, who knows in the future? But the world's mostly for tabletop, and it's been really fun just writing characters and the whatnot there. And it's also a good exercise for.
Have you ever gotten writer's block for when you write for your own stuff because you're kind of used to the whole template of the tournament thing, where you have the tropes for the tournaments that let you that everyone sees all the time, but at least you're making the comic, at least you're writing something out. But for when you have your own personal projects, you're kind of stuck there forever at a certain point.
Wait. You gotta make your own template for your own story?
What the fuck? I will say that I've definitely went through that. There's this one story I've actually been working on over a decade. It will probably never be published in anytime soon because it's like my magnum opus, which you guys save those for later. I definitely at one point during writing, and this thing has gone through so many fucking reasons. I gotta tell you, I like at one point when someone asked me, tell me about this particular story, and I had to sit there in a call for over 3.5 hours explaining it. It was like almost 4 a.m. at the time when I finished. But I noticed at one point, a few times after going into tournaments, I did kind of hit that little block there because I got so used to writing for OCTs and stuff like that. And then it's a bit of a hurdle. Like once you kind of get that breakthrough, it kind of gets a bit easier. That's for sure. After being in OCTs, I think at that point, I was in there for 3-4 years, probably going on 5 years or so. So yeah.
That's fair. Meanwhile, there's just me that like uses OCTs as a way of like leverage to like develop my characters and then use them for my webcomics later on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's completely valid too, because we're all editing these OCTs, we're making these comics. We're doing it for this is all completely free, so we can use the OCTs however the fuck we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually we'd have to
tutorial.
like place our focus on one character at a time. So,
Yeah, like do you want
world
exposure?
building.
Enter an OCT. Do you want to make friends who have similar interests? Enter an OCT. You don't have to finish it, just enter it.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
if
there's
you're gonna
definitely
enter one, try to finish because
I mean, try to finish, yeah, but I mean, like if you have a thing going, like definitely try to go. But like, just being around the community too is good to just like get your name out there.
Mhm.
yeah,
Definitely.
there's definitely been a lot of folks who started out and have now moved on to comics studios and other stuff and whatnot there, and it's thanks to the massive amount of work that they put into the OCT stuff, like the rounds and stuff. It's good for especially pages that you're particularly proud of. It's good for practice. It's good story. It's like even for like writing on a deadline.
Mhm.
Yeah, one thing I love about like OCTs and making comics, like I have learned so many good like time management skills. Like
Oh, yeah.
I think I'd think I'm procrastinating, but like I know how to get my work done, but also not burn myself out.
Hell yeah, dude.
Plus, if you're trying to work on like a webcomic, the OCTs are
Good practice.
they're a great start because like you get a deadline to make 5 strips of 7 pages, and like usually regular webcomics have like 4
Sometimes
pages.
180 pages.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that though.
Sometimes you learn how to make 220 pages. Not 220 pages, 120 pages in a 3-month span, and it's just like, wow.
That's not healthy to do, but you do learn how to do
It's
it.
not healthy, but you learn how to do it. It's not healthy. I don't recommend. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm sitting on my ass for like literally like 9 to 5. Don't do it.
You should better fucking do it though. You'd be like, you can always flex the number in future conversations.
Yeah, it's like, how many pages have you made? What's the most amount of pages you made in OCT? Oh, 120.
Hey, you think you're hot shit? You made 20 pages in 1 week? Let me go flex on you. Let me go take off my pants because I don't have anything in my life. I don't have a job. I don't have an education. But I'll tell you what I do have though. 187 pages in 1 month. No, it was 2 months actually. But so it's like, yeah. Worship me, I guess. Those 187 pages aren't very good, my friend. No, did I say anything about quality? It's the number that counts.
God. But yeah, it's just that it gets you. It helps you kind of realize what you can and can't do, and it also rapidly improves your ability to draw on a deadline and stuff like that. Like, what things can you what can you let go? And stuff like that. Like, can I do this round without tones? Can I color this or not? And stuff like that. Sometimes you got to sacrifice some things in the sake of production in order to complete this project. But and with OCTs, at least that I hope that people,
You're kind of forced to cut things out, so it's
you're kind of forced to cut things out. You're forced to kind of cut your losses, and that's kind of how is when you're making a webcomic, when you realize that you might have put too much on your plate, is that you're kind of forced to cut things out. And as they said in my school, don't be scared to kill your babies because it will happen.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like a studio job.
Yeah, because you're not being paid.
Just not being paid, and it's intense hours and stuff.
Yeah, and
But-
sometimes when you do something wrong, people will hate you for years to come, and there's like nothing you can do about it. Your name is dragged through the mud. What?
Yeah.
What? I didn't see it. What was that? Whoa.
Oh.
So I don't get my tone right now. Am I for or against OCTs? Depends on the day, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess for like the newer batch of OCT contestants, these guys are incredibly ambitious.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah.
ambitious,
Oh, yeah.
incredibly talented.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
Oh,
I say
definitely. Yeah.
I say like the 187 pages that I did, but like, who forced you to do this, dude? Like, we were expecting 20 pages in a month. What the fuck are you doing? This is all on you, by the way. So why the fuck did you make it bloat this big? If you're gonna join an OCT, please make a script. Make sure it's short. You're gonna kill yourself if you keep doing it like this. It's frankly quite unhealthy. So 30 pages a month, that's good. 20 pages a month, that's good. If you go into the 50s range, that's when I go. Maybe you should just start a webcomic at this point.
Yeah.
Joins another OCT instead.
Yeah. I may or may not have
Done that.
reached.
How
I
many
may or
pages
may
is
not
round one?
54.
Osh, the deadline's in 13 days, 2 weeks. You have college. You know this,
I don't
right?
have college. I don't have
Oh, yeah,
college.
you-
No, I took
Yeah, neat gang.
it out
Okay.
Corona.
Neat
Yeah.
gang.
Yeah, and I got and I'm pretty sure I don't have a job no more, so I never got a call back. But that's beside the point. Yeah, so yeah, 50 pages.
Corona's great, dude. Fucking ruins everyone's
It's
lives.
so fun. Yeah,
Hell
I was
yeah,
having
dude.
such a good time working at Spucks, but you know what? I guess life just said fuck you.
Dude,
You
I was
actually
having
like
a
this
great
job?
time in college. It was like, whoa, I'm finally happy. It's gonna let's bring this
that's
motherfucker down a notch.
Even though we're like jobless and schoolless, there are some people that like has both and somehow pull that shit off. I'm like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
They can make an
Yeah.
OCT with jobs in school and
Powerful.
taking care of
Yeah.
7 kids. Damn,
Getting a fucking PhD.
got a PhD, yeah.
There was someone that was in a tournament I was in who literally was working on their PhD while doing the
God.
tournament.
God, what was the PhD in? Were they like in medical? Were they like a
Medical
literature
science.
guy? Medical.
If you're working towards your
Oh.
PhD and doing OCT, I think at that point PhD just stands for pretty huge dick.
Pretty huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I never hearing about it. Like, wait, this person's getting their PhD. It's like, yeah, they're like about to get it, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, what the hell? They're in an OCT. I was like 16 at the time when when that happened, but like,
But
it was so weird.
still, big dick move.
Are they still an artist
Yeah.
right now, or did they?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I
They
haven't heard of
disappeared.
them.
If they disappeared,
Yeah.
that's a good thing because that means they got a stable job.
Yeah, I wish that were me.
Social
Wish I
media
had-
fucking sucks, bro.
God, I wish that were me.
Yeah, dude, I got like 30,000 followers on Twitter. You got a job? What? What now?
You support me on Patreon, please. Okay, no, I don't have a
Please.
Patreon.
I got.
Maybe soon.
Oh, I want to make a Patreon and have people give me $3 a year. That's a great income, you know.
Yeah,
You can say I made it
Yeah.
big.
yeah. It's like join my Patreon. You can.
Did you cut off?
Fuck. Sorry, I said join my Patreon. You can see my OCT pages early.
and then all of the judges kind of subscribe to you.
Yeah. Just get early access. God, yeah, no. What else?
Dude, let's kickstart an OCT right now where it's crowdfunded for the prize, and then we just end up not doing the tournament when we pocket the
Just take the
$200 we've earned.
Oh my
I'm
God.
still recording, by the way. It's like, fuck.
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
yeah,
I'm gonna cut that
we're
out.
still-
Indeed, we are.
we should cut that out. Yeah, that didn't happen. Hello, yeah, gamers.
You've heard nothing.
We are the
But,
demons. But
Yeah. What else here? I'm looking on our little list of what else we talked there. The tropes I think we kind of put the
Yeah.
two,
A lot
the
of
trope
tropes.
thing all together.
yeah, we're already at OCT Unga versus non-OCT Bunga.
I think there's
Yeah.
something I probably should mention in terms of tropes I don't like. I was just thinking about this now. That people who know me in the judging ring are probably going to crucify me if I don't mention this. I have this thing when reading OCT auditions as a judge. I fucking hate seeing is that having character enters OCT setting and then the host looks at them and they're just like, interesting, and they end it there.
Oh my
I
God.
fucking hate that shit. Saying the word interesting is not a plot. And it
It is
happens
pretty interesting,
so
though.
often that it's become this huge thing for me that if I see it, I just get this visceral
Still don't
reaction.
know.
Interesting. This round character with this bald head. The end.
Because the whole thing of an OCT is that every character who enters is from a different world. So literally everybody's supposed to be interesting, but no, your character is the most interesting. I'm like, no.
Dude, you're gonna enter this. This guy's actually just Jesus, and he has a laser sword. And then you enter this cute cat boy, and he's super cute, and he's got cute collars and tattoos. And then the judge who is an elder god, or is riding on a horse made out of skeletons and is on fire. He looks at the cat boy and goes, "Interesting."
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's not a
That's what
plot.
I remember one of my pals actually made a whole rant about that at one point there. She was just talking about, it's yeah, how come I know she's just I noticed a pattern between OCT auditions where usually at the end there's a judge that looks at side eyes your character and he's particular. It's interesting. It's do you think they do that to every other?
Are you sure that just wasn't me in another time? Because I've done this rant many times.
No, it definitely was not you. It definitely was not you. But
whoever they are, I 100% agree.
Yeah, you hear that, friend? That I cannot name on this
stream.
not podcast on the stream.
So remember, kids.
Well, the robot agrees with you.
So if you're gonna do the whole interesting type of deal, you might wanna have the judge be more involved with your character. Yeah.
Or just go with the other 32 characters or something.
I did see a nice way to do this. It was there was this one entry in Murder House where the host sort of says interesting to one of the contestants in the audition, but in that sense, the host themselves went out of his way to go invite this character into the tournament. So there is a reason that they're in the tournament. If you're gonna do the interesting thing, give it plot.
I mean,
make sure you follow
to it,
through
but
on it.
you can't. Yeah, build up to it. Don't just have the character arrive by their own means, and then this person just looks upon your character in all of their majesty, and then just say interesting.
It's a crime too if they submit the entry 3 weeks before the deadline, because they still have time.
I've had to turn down so many auditions that were like that.
Oh no.
And every time they asked for critique, I would make sure to mention, it's dude,
interesting. So
this
Jeff,
is not a plot.
No, I was thinking I was just imagining may as well have the judge do it for the others. It's just everyone goes through the front door, the judge is standing there. Interesting. Interesting.
In a line, just pointing at all the contestants. Interesting. Interesting.
Exactly. The other judge comes up to him and go bro, are you okay?
Shit, he's stuck on a loop. God damn it, not again.
He's fucking stoned as shit. He's going, Yo, is that a fucking dog, dude? He's on his hind legs, bro. Whoa.
My God.
The one
That
crackhead.
cat
joke.
just fucking cock. Okay.
Bro, is that a
Holy
talking
fuck,
cat?
Yeah.
So aside from that, like, Lulzy, are you judging any OCTs in the future? Just so you know, just for future reference if on audition.
Possibly.
Nice.
Like which ones?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Will they be interesting tournaments?
Ha 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 ha.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it's been like an hour and 30 minutes. But are the Lulzy are the
Don't. If you finish that sentence, I'm leaving this call.
Are there any other avenues that you can go to once you leave the OCT scene? Ooh, gotcha there.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Yeah, no need for hostilities.
Martin, I'm gonna kill you.
Are there? Oh. So after OCTs, Ash, you mentioned you took a retirement from OCTs for 5 years, right?
Yes.
What did you do in that time period?
I just mostly focused on school and whatnot there, just to try to get a semblance of a regular life back. At that time, I was like 6-7 years through my whole high school career, and I just finished my first year, freshman year of college at that point. And yeah, so it's just like, yeah, just gonna focus on my life now. And then I did successfully for another 5 years.
And now here you are.
And now we're here.
Here you are on a podcast talking about comics. Not a podcast. It's a recording.
Yeah,
Not
it's
a
a recording.
Not a
A
podcast.
stream.
A stream.
I will say that at the time I did focus on writing skills. I focused on. Well, I wasn't actively making comics. I was trying to, but I lost steam with the comic epilogue I wanted to do for my last OCT. I'm probably just gonna go straight up as like a little kind of PDF novel thing with little illustrations, just so I could wrap it up because it's been 5 fucking years.
Storybook.
Yeah, that I did work on that time to just work on general, again, storytelling, art, and just how to improve myself while also working at school and whatnot there to try to get myself set up, because at the time I was like, yeah, I just turned 21, so I was just like, fuck, I need to be an adult. So
God.
yeah, and yeah, I wasn't expecting the hop into the OCT scene again, but one of my
You were
friends.
in the circle, though. You were still in the circuit.
I was still, I wasn't active in the circuit, but I was still on the sidelines watching things go down and keeping an eye out on stuff, because a lot of my friends were still active. So I was just always kind of staying there, which is why I ended up in Pantheon, because one of my friends constantly shout out to DeviantArt user Cat Phantoms. That's the only person I'm gonna name. She's very enthusiastic and was always hyping up Pantheon. In the end, her enthusiasm was just so infectious. It grabbed me by the neck and shook me and threw me to the ground, spat on me, and said, "Join Pantheon." And I said, "Yes." And now
you pretty much went through the phase of just like how Pokemon's cool in elementary school, and then in high school it's like, oh, Pokemon. Then you went back to college, it's like, oh, Pokemon again. It's like that with OCTs.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But I'll say that for the most part, Pantheon's been pretty good. The community surrounding it's been really, really, really good, and I like it so far. But the avenues of leaving OCTs, though, it's a bit hard, I would say, because there's multiple times I was tempted to join, like
No OCT.
like Murder House. I almost joined Murder House because all my friends were joining Murder House.
You were me in an alternate universe.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost joined Murder House too because I had the perfect character for it, and I'm just like, nah, I shouldn't, because I said I wouldn't. You just gotta have some restraint.
But at the time, I was,
and also art school is a thing that is lingering over my head, so I have no time
to join. I was the only one without the resolution to go with what I said.
But you won.
You
Of
won.
course.
You
I say,
Yeah.
of course, I say self-doubt. Go on, Ak.
But it's definitely really hard to leave because that sense of community, because a lot of my closest friends that I have currently online, I've all met through OCT. Some of them I've literally met in the whole near decade that I've been active in OCTs. I've met during my first OCT or second, and we've been friends since then. And we've been with each other, and I wouldn't give that up for the world. And it's just that sense of community makes it hard to leave, and not to mention that dopamine.
Yeah, that's
Dopamine
very
rush.
true. Like most of my friends I know were because of OCTs, and like
Yeah.
even having stopped doing OCTs, like I'm still friends with them and everything. So
Yeah.
it's just it builds it really like galvanizes the friendship because it feels like you've been through hell with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you literally walk through hell when you finish there. I will say that I've had, because of these friends, in the very last OCT I was in, Molly Grubs, with all those pages there, some of my friends stepped in and they're like, we could help ink some things for you, just like really lightly, just to help you out, so stuff like that. And I had one friend who pretty much was one who showed me that OCT. She's one of my dearest
Shoutouts.
friends. Shout outs.
You know who you
doing
are.
much shout out. Yeah, you know who you are. I'm looking at you. You smelly Californian. I'm kidding. No, you're not smelly. Anyways, if she ever sees this, she's probably gonna be like, he at me. Anyways, but she pretty much held my hand throughout that whole OCT because I was a bit nervous about joining another one. And when I made it to the final round, she pretty much we spent 3 days together straight because I had this whole plot that when I lost that third round, I had a whole thing about doing a whole spectator entry that's gonna be my whole entire plot. I pretty much had to cut that down and rework that into a final round, and I probably wouldn't have done that if I didn't just sit 3 days straight with her on a call and doing editing together and constantly going back and forth with drafts until I figured out one that worked.
God,
Because
you got
other
a
than
studio going on.
a mini studio between two, and if it wasn't for, probably wouldn't have finished that round or any of my other pals. It's just that it's just, the real prize of OCT's friends we make along the way.
Maybe the real
It really is. That's honest to
Yeah,
God it.
definitely.
And leaving that is like, it's kind of daunting just a little bit because you're kind of just leaving that community. But sometimes,
You gotta.
different avenues, you gotta, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As mentioned earlier, you gotta kill your babies.
Yeah, you do.
Kind of like how cats eat their children.
I didn't know that, but thank you.
Cats do eat their children, by the way. It's
They
pretty
do.
disgusting. You might not want to see it. But
I don't think I-
remember you going on about that.
fuck, let me go on a tangent. There's this
No.
cat in our college.
And then
Oh,
there
They
you
had
go anyway.
kittens, and then they went missing the next day. And we were asking what the fuck was happening. One of the teachers just said, "Yeah, she ate them." Dude, I love those kittens.
Oh,
Oh my god.
What a tangent. Are we gonna keep that in?
That's us with OCTs. You gotta do it. Nature calls.
it's just nature, a part of life.
Nature finds a way. But
eat your
leaving
kids.
is, don't eat your kids. Please don't eat your kids. If you're gonna take anything from this
Don't eat your
recording,
kids.
don't eat your kids. Don't eat your kids. But there's always new avenues in the end after you're done with OCTs, because eventually you are gonna have to leave the community because OCTs are fun and whatnot, and you also gotta stretch out your creative wings elsewhere, like with this interesting comic called Knights of the Wandering Castle. I heard that the artist that works on it is really good, and you
I
all
heard he was a
should go.
douchebag.
I don't know.
One
Sometimes
absolute
people-
I don't know. I think he's pretty talented.
Killed like 5 people yesterday. It was on the news, all over the news. There was a fire too. God.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty talented guy. Sometimes he goes on weird tangents, like about Bionicle and eating kids, but
Dude, that shit about Bionicle was Tenu though. That wasn't me. Shoutouts, by the way, Tenu.
God. What else do you guys got? Because I think
For
I
leaving.
rambled enough. For leaving.
Jeff, you haven't left yet, but you have taken
I haven't.
hiatuses.
I've been thinking about it. I wouldn't say hiatuses. It's more like, ooh, I want to join this one, but I want to join this one, but that other one just ended, so I'm going to join
Indecision.
this other one.
Mhm.
It's just utter indecision.
It's like a buffet.
There have been a few attempts where I try to work on my own webcomic, but it's that friend group thing where it's like, man, I want to join an OCT with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it helps when you want to leave. Like, you're not the only one leaving. Like, you're leaving with your friends, so it's a lot less tempting to join because your friends are in OCTs. Because I'm in a position where like all the friends I've made through OCTs have just like stopped entering them, so it's not really been much in the views of temptation besides just peeking into a server and seeing someone talking about it.
You know, I said I rejoined the OCTs, but because of friends, right? Because of peer pressure is what I said earlier. Even though the peer pressure was entirely on me, but I did take a hiatus after Wizardpalooza of 2 years because of tabletop RPGs with other friends. Like none of them in the server that I'm in right now. I have a new server with like real life friends too, and none of them are in OCTs. So for the longest time, it just wasn't a concern. I had high school to deal with, and I also had, every week I would just play games with them. So that was never a temptation until
out of
Murder
sight,
House
out of
happened.
mind.
Yeah, until Murder House
Yeah.
happened, and then Shib was like, "Hey, Lon, wouldn't it be cool if we joined this tournament?" Yo, and that's all right. I'm kind of not into OCTs anymore. Oh, but look at all these people who are joining. Yo, I know that guy. Oh, dude, I know that guy. He's joining. She's joining. Whoa, dude, you can't say this. It's not true.
Oh
You mean to
man,
tell
I
me-
thought that person quitted 10 years ago.
Dude, I thought this. Oh, dude, look at this. Some big artists on Instagram's joining. Excuse me? And then suddenly the peer pressure gets you, and you're like, yeah.
Suddenly, there's an old guy who comes in and starts dunking the kids in the kiddie pool.
You're just drowning them. It's like
Just drowning
Shaquille
them.
O'Neal. Just Shaquille O'Neal
Yeah.
pops up in a basketball, in an elementary school basketball game, and just picks up the kids and throws them.
Yeah, that's essentially how that happened in Murder House until round 3, and then it's like, okay, he's gone now.
We don't talk about that. The dark
No. Oh god, yeah, but yeah, out of sight, out of mind. That's definitely one way to help it. Like, I think how I
Exactly.
went so long with how I went so long without joining OCTs until recently was definitely tabletop games. A lot of my friends around me were getting into tabletop RPGs as well, particularly D&D. And recently, I've been interested in getting into the World of Darkness system
Mm-hmm.
and the Cypher
Okay.
system, and that, and along with these little games called Rapid Doubts, which are like they're rapid fire murder mystery games that you
They're
play with
werewolf.
friends.
It's a werewolf
Yeah.
game online with
Yeah.
role playing.
They're Among Us,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
tabletop.
Among Us
Yeah,
with tabletop, yeah.
tabletop with the Fate system, but that took over my life for a few years. I never hosted one, but I participated in a lot, and they are very fun. They make you very anxious because you don't know who the fuck is the killer, and sometimes you are the killer, and you break someone's neck.
I would say
But,
though, there was just like one rabbit dot game. There were 2 rabbit dot games where I was like mad as fuck because I guessed the killer the first round before anyone even died. And then everyone said I was stupid and that it doesn't make any
Aw.
sense. And then I got killed. And then they found out that the person who killed me was the one who did it. It was the one I pointed out. And
Yeah, oh god. This is what quick tangent before we get back to OCTs. There was one where
we're leaving
I
OCTs.
witnessed. Oh yeah, I mean yeah. Before getting back to the topic of leaving OCTs, there was this one rabbit doubt that I witnessed. I was not a part of. I really wish I was, but it ran twice. The first one ran as normal. The second one ended in about. Typically, the games that we played last from anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, so, which is a lot of time to commit. But they're usually just one shot, so they they barely go past two sessions. So first one ran good. Second one, because everyone decided to put in their morally ambiguous murderous characters because it was done in like 2 hours, maybe in 2.5 hours, because everyone killed each other and the wolf did nothing.
God.
It was a spectacle. It was quite good. I mean, witnessing it. But
The Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. That's how it be in Rabbit Doubts, but they Rabbit Doubt, but they definitely helped me curb my need to want to go into an OCT where I'm
So
just
you won't
like
be jonesing anymore.
I probably I probably after Pantheon I probably won't ever. I'll try not to ever join another OCT because I really want to focus on my work, and by work I mean comic work and whatnot there, and try to get complete my education and actually start short form comics with that most are 50 pages.
So see you next year in the OCT circuit again, Ash. I will we'll be facing each other in round 1.
Oh God, if that happens, I will die immediately. But no, I won't do any more OCT comics. As much as I would want to face you, Lun, and die instantly, no.
Let's make a league.
Make a
Let's
league.
make an OCT league. Be dope. You know. Whoa.
Maybe. I mean,
Wait. Something we do. Money matches. OCT money matches. You know, like in fighting games, you can just like say $10, I win.
Oh my God.
You mean pay to win? That's not a thing. I don't think I've ever seen that be a thing, and I don't want it to ever be a thing.
No, you and a friend. It's like a league thing. You and the friend go, I bet $10 that I'm gonna win, and then they're like, I bet $10 that I'm gonna win. The winner takes all, and then you pay the judge $10 so you can get the $10 profit. Big brain.
Oh my God.
Let's end friendships right now.
I will say the one, so like kind of straying from that a little bit. I will say the one thing about OCTs, either like running or participating, more so running in OCT. Usually it's just like a whole niche community. It's not really going to do much for you. But I've actually been able to put like moderation skills on my resume, and it's worked. So there is some outside merit than just making comics.
Dude. Definitely, like moderation skills.
Yeah,
moderation admin. I have that on my like smack dab in my resume.
Skill.
I just don't mention that they're called OCTs. I just say like, for an online art community, I've been moderating.
Yeah,
I've also worked with like a lot of spreadsheets during judge periods. Like
exactly.
That was a skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually remember writing that for my resume. It's like good time management skills, good cooperator. Good cooperator.
Long time comic maker, long form comic artist and writer. Under various
projects.
9 years of comic experience.
I actually did get I actually did get like a pro comic job from Murder House, but the guy flaked on me. Shoutouts.
Shoutouts to the flaker.
He's not gonna listen to this. Hopefully, God.
If he does, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I think. I'm not very good at judging long-term consequences from my actions. Have you seen my internet Twitter history?
Yes, I have, and it leaves me questions every single time I read it.
Still, my favorite one is like putting your dick in a pencil sharpener for a zoomer circumcision. I'm proud of that one. So
I still think about the cognitive behavioral therapy video.
God bless.
God, please.
So another avenue you can leave for OCTs from is getting a job, going back into real life.
Dude, there's some people that actually
use its own
OCT stuff.
It is like, it's experience. So you may not be industry experience, but it's experience in some way, shape, or form.
So it's a big girthy portfolio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I used an OCT comic as part of my portfolio to get into art school, so it works.
Ew, yeah, baby.
That's honestly what I'm gonna do after Pantheon. I'm gonna take pages from my edition and stuff.
Shoutouts to Pantheon OCT now on
Shout out to
DeviantArt.
Pantheon OCT, everybody there. Love ya. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely use pages from my audition portfolio because there's some pages I've been really proud of that I've really liked, and I'm like, yeah, I'm putting this shit in a portfolio. Yeah, but yeah,
God.
just yeah, get a job, and then you'll definitely leave.
Maybe not right
Foolish
now, though.
fools.
Things are looking pretty grim.
Yeah.
OCTs is my job. Subscribe to my Patreon.
Oh, I want to OCP all over you. And with that, this recording is almost 2 hours long. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is this
There's
the
some
part-
things you definitely have to cut out, though.
I have to what?
15 minutes.
I have to what
Isn't there
now?
like a few things you do gotta cut out though? Like a couple of things that you said.
Like the
So we're just
Kickstarter where we take all the money and get sued for embezzlement?
Yes.
You know, there was a part of me that wanted to go into social science just to be a politician, just so I could steal hundreds of thousands of dollars, all just, without anyone like really blinking an eye.
God.
So aside from that, thank you all for joining me on this not a podcast recording stream, whatever you call this. We have Craig in the server. This was us being jaded we were negative for a lot of
No, not
negative?
completely
I would
negative.
say-
Like I
We
still
were,
love
yeah.
OCTs, what they are, and what
yeah,
they do.
no. It's like
Yeah.
really fun and easy to get into.
Yeah, it's really fun
Yeah.
to get into. You
Made
just,
a lot of friends, learned a lot of stuff
yeah.
about myself and about how my workflow goes.
Yep.
It's a good experience. Like there are negative points to it, but we just say that because
Yeah.
we've been at this too long.
Yeah, we've been around for a long time. And hey, we didn't mention bad OCTs that no one ever, and we shall never do that.
Yeah, like the
Especially
ones
at the beginning of it.
yeah, it's a fucking guy Lon was like hosting one 7 years ago. I think it was called like a Hentai
Lon
Haven
OCT.
OCT. I was like, fuck, dude.
No.
No, dude, that guy was like fucked up, dude. He was hosting it in Pornhub. That was just depraved as shit. There was a
Oh my
chameleon
God.
there. God.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, that was one of the characters actually. That was like one of the rounds. That was round 2. And it was just, let me just say, I'm not even allowed inside most churches anymore. And
Oh my God, thank God I'm not taking a drink right now. I would have died.
And with that said, OCTs, they're a lot like it's like an abusive relationship, really, more than anything. But if you are in your mid-20s and you want to join the OCT scene, may I please, for the love of God, don't do anything inappropriate because the large majority of the people who are joining these tournaments are teenagers, really stupid, edgy teenagers in their 15, 16, and 17 years. And they don't want to see any porn, by the way. So with that said, this has been the Not a Podcast Server podcast stream, whatever, not a podcast thing. I have been Lun, your host. Okay, everyone, let's go down. Osh, can you say goodbye?
Goodbye, everyone. I'm Osh.
Luz, you can say
house was-
goodbye?
Goodbye.
I'm sorry. Can you say it louder? Like scream into the
goodbye.
mic.
I'm not going to scream into the mic because I have family downstairs, and they would not appreciate that.
That's very polite. I appreciate it. Jeff, can you scream?
No, I can't scream, but I'll say
Okay,
bye.
Okay, you can say bye. And with that said, goodbye, folks.